Hey guys, well I'm Jason Morris. I'm with my group is Real Estate Agents That Really Work, and today what I wanted to talk about was what I've seen in the industry, and this has been talking to hundreds of agents over the last couple of months. Was there was a lot of agents that just needed the basic things to get started, and a lot of coaching programs just didn't offer the extreme basics. So what I started doing was I started thinking about it, and I started thinking about what would I do as a brand new agent, and what things do you need to start thinking about as an agent to get to get going, to make yourself look legitimate, to just set yourself up to win. So what I did was I actually made a list of I ended up with actually 51 things. So we're going to go down through them and talk, and I'll talk about them and talk about why you should do it, and just my experiences with it, and maybe you won't make the same mistakes that I have. And a lot of these are pretty basic, but they're for new agents and existing agents. Some of us just kind of forget things. The number one thing you need to do is you need to get a Zillow profile. People are looking you up on Zillow. It's one of the most trafficked real estate websites. I made this mistake myself. I went to Zillow. I realized I had a profile, but none of my listings were on it. For some reason, it was not syndicating properly. And when people were looking me up, I was showing zeros on it. So I've been working on that myself to get my assistant to work on it. You got to have a Zillow profile. Number two, you need to get a Trulia profile. Of course, Trulia and Zillow are one company now. However, Trulia, my understanding is if you don't set yourself up on Trulia, you're not on it. They're not really integrating with each other yet. The number three thing you need is you need to get yourself a basic website. You need something that you can get started with. It's easy. It's not time consuming. Something that you're not going to have to spend hours and hours building content. Really, most of us only need something basic with a property search that we can give clients, and we can kind of keep them contained to a website that we control. Number four, you need to get your own domain name. You need to get something that's easy to spell and easy to give somebody over the phone. I use jasonmorrishomes.com for mine. jasonmorrishomes.com. It's easy to put on my sign. It's easy for people to remember. I would get a domain name that you're going to have for life. One that you're going to have for the life of your business that you're not going to change. You can get something, with your city and homes or real estate or something like that in it. But you want something you can put on your business cards, put on your signs. It's short, easy to remember, and that you can get people over the phone. The number six thing that you need, number five, you need some sort of system of accountability. We see agents all the time. They get in the business and they talk about all the stuff they want to do. They talk about their goals, and then they sleep at 10 o'clock in the morning. They never get up. They never work on their website. They never make calls. They never post ads on Craigslist. They never go on appointments or anything. You need some sort of system of accountability. Number six, you need to learn to prospect on the phone. The thing that's going to change your life the quickest is getting really good on the phone. It's going to improve your business, your income. It's going to improve things for your family. If you are not using the phone to prospect, you're just emailing people and emailing your buyer leads, and you're wondering why they're never calling you back and you're not closing them. It's because they're actually never talking to a live person. No matter how much technology we get, it's not going to replace a phone call. The number seven thing you need to do, and these are not in any particular order. The number seven thing you need to do is you need to set up your pre-listing package. And if you don't have pre-listing package, you can download my template for free. It's jasonmorrisprelistingpackage.com. You go there, fill out the form, and it gets emailed to you. What I've seen in my market and markets across the country from talking to other agents, 99.9% of agents have no type of marketing material they can give a client that professionally represents them, their company, and what they're going to do when they put their property on the market. So that's why a lot of sellers aren't listing with you, is because you show up and you don't have anything to tell them or show them as far as what your plan is. Number 8, you need to have signs with your own phone number on it. I know there's a lot of agents, they go to these offices because, hey, the office provides you signs, or the office will provide me signs and I can put a sign writer on it. If your phone number is not on your sign, there are people calling on that house. There are leads coming into somewhere that you're not getting. You're losing business. You need to go ahead and spend the money. I buy my signs. I've been buying my signs, the inserts, 50 at a time. And I make sure that there's a number on there that I control. Number 9, you need to have some sort of bookkeeping software. You know, we hate to talk about it, and all of us hate to pay taxes. But I guarantee you, you are probably spending money right now that's a write-off or that you could write off, but you're just not keeping up with it. You know, all of us, I mean, my receipts get thrown in a box at home, you know, and everybody's like that. But you need to keep up with all of your expenses, all the money coming in, the money going out, what you, and just what you're taking in and what you're spending. That way you can make sure your taxes are accurately done and you can reduce your tax liabilities and you can account for what's really going on in your business. If you're not accounting for the financial health of your business, then your business is probably failing. You don't know where your money's going. Number 10, you need to set yourself up a schedule. You know, we all talk about being independent contractors and we can do whatever we want to and work when we want to, and that's why most of us got in the real estate business, because we wanted the freedom. But any other job you're at, you're going to have a schedule. You're going to have what days you're working, what days you're not. You're not going to wake up in the morning and say, you know what, it's Thursday or it's Friday. I just think I'm going to go hang out at the beach today, or I'm going to go do this instead of going to the office. You need to create yourself a schedule. The days that you're going to work, the days that you're going to be off, the days that you're going to be completely unavailable. You know, working 5 days a week at a job is normal. Working 5.5, 6 days a week for the money that we want to make in the real estate business, that's actually not unheard of. Working 7 days a week is not normal. You need to have a schedule. You need to plan the weeks that you're going to work, the days that you're going to work. You need to plan your time off. Number 11, when you're making your schedule, you need to make sure that you put in prospecting time. You need to make sure that in your schedule, in my schedule, it has that I'm going to be at the office at 8 o'clock and I'm going to start making calls. I'm going to make calls looking for new business from 8 to 11 every morning. Your schedule needs to include prospecting time and scheduled follow-up time. Typically, I'm prospecting from 8 to usually 10:30, 11. If I get tired of prospecting or whatever I got going on that day, the rest of that time is used for follow-up. I always follow up between 11 and 12 each day with people from the day before, or I set myself a reminder to follow up. But you need to schedule prospecting time and you need to schedule follow-up time in your daily schedule and weekly schedule. Number 12, you need to set up a budget for yourself. You know, this goes back to bookkeeping software, but you need to have a budget for your business, what you're going to do, what you're planning to spend on marketing, you know, just like you have a budget for your household. Something I've learned talking to a lot of agents is they have no budget whatsoever. It's whatever's going on that day or whatever they feel like, they just spend. There's no marketing budget. There's no budget for common expenses. It just increases with, you know, just however they feel that day. Number 13. This one drives me crazy with agents. You need to set up a professional voicemail. Voicemail comes free on your cell phone nowadays. So you need to have a voicemail that says who you are, the company you work for, and it needs to have your email address on it at the very least. Back when everybody used to fax stuff, I used to have my fax number on mine. Now I have my email address, and if you need to get in touch with me, you can text me. Number 14, you need to keep up with your sphere of influence. We all forget that everybody we know probably knows somebody looking to buy, sell, or rent property if you do leases. Everybody knows somebody looking for a house to rent. All these people that you know that live in your town or even live out of your town know people that are looking to buy today. You need to set up your sphere of influence in some sort of fashion that's easy for you to access and contact them all. It can be a CRM, it could be index cards, it could be a notebook, but something so that you have a sphere of influence and you need to schedule that follow-up and that sphere of influence time. You need to put that in your schedule too. Number 15, everyone needs some sort of CRM in some way to keep up with people. Just like your sphere of influence, your buyers, your serious sellers, everyone needs to go into some sort of database that you can easily account for them and easily follow up with them. That CRM, I'm using Realty Juggler. It's $99 a year. It's easy to use. My assistant can log in and use it real easy. There's a lot of tutorial videos. I mean, you know, a lot of other people are using more expensive things like Boomtown and Realty Generator. Most franchise offices give you Realty Generator. I'd advise using something that you control, you know, that's your own product. I mean, it could be index cards too and a notebook, but you need something that keeps up with your database and the people that you talked to, met, and then have inquired about property. Number 16. With your prospecting time, you need to have an expired service to get numbers. Most of us are individual agents or we're a small team. You can look up numbers yourself. You can go through the tax records, look up expired numbers, and look up phone numbers. But the problem is, for 30 or 40 numbers in a day, it's going to take you 3 or 4 hours. Where you can get an expired service, you get the new expireds every day. All you do is show up at your office, log into the website, and they're there for you. I pay $7 a month for RedX. And it gives me for sale by owners and expireds and withdrawals every day. Number 17, one skill that you need to learn and you need to develop is how to list for sale by owners too. And you need to use a for sale by owner gathering service for it. And there's a lot of websites you can get them off of, Zillow, Craigslist, driving around, getting them in the car. But most of these for sale by owner gathering services, if you're going to purchase leads or pay for a service, this is the cheapest thing you can get. RedX, I think if you're getting expires already, I think it's just an extra $20 a month. You know, there's a lot of them out there for $20, $30 a month that gather these same way. As soon as you get to the office, they're sitting there on your computer waiting for you to call. Number 18, you need to set up an email that is your email that you control for life. A lot of franchises and offices give you an email address. However, that email address isn't yours. That email address is theirs. And the problem with that is you know, none of us know, you know, you might be happy at the office you're at, but, you know, staff changes, whatever it is. A year from now, you're not happy. 5 years from now, you're not happy. You're going to be somewhere else, and you don't have access to that email they gave you anymore. The email address that you set up, whether it's Gmail, set it up on your own domain, whatever it is, there are going to be people. I've been in the business for 12 years. There are people that will email me sometimes that they've got my email address from 5, 7, 8 years ago. I'm using the same Gmail account I used back then. And, you know, those people, they might not remember your phone number, but they probably got an email saved or a business card with the email on it or something. Number 19. You got to have business cards. I see agents all the time that, you know, I'll ask them for a card or whatever it is, and they give me a deer in headlights look, and they have absolutely nothing. You know, there's no need to spend a lot of money on business cards. I've seen guys spending, you know, buying these fancy cards that were the quality of a credit card. You know, it's just something that you hand out that's formal, that's got your number on it. I will tell you, 12 years in the business, it seems like every time I get new cards, something on it changes, whether it's my address or I forgot to put my website or something. You know, get some cheap ones, Vistaprint. You can get 1,000 business cards for $20. Don't spend a whole lot of time designing, especially your first ones. Just get something that has all your contact information on it. Number 20. This is a mistake I've made a lot in the business. You need to hire an assistant or somebody to help you with your paperwork and busy work as soon as possible. Here recently, I just hired a new assistant, and the reason I hired them is because I was taking so many listings and had so much paperwork. I had piles of paperwork sitting around, and I was realizing that I was losing probably a day to a day and a half a week just doing paperwork, scanning it in, emailing it to my office. You need to pay. I mean, you can hire people by the hour. You can have somebody come in a half a day or a day a week. There's so many different ways you can hire people, but you need to hire somebody as soon as you can to handle basically the busy work for you. Number 21, you need to put on Facebook, on your personal profile, that you sell real estate. You've got, most of us have anywhere from a couple hundred people to a couple thousand people on our Facebook profile. And if it is not on Facebook that you sell real estate, you're making a huge mistake and you're losing business, because you have friends from high school on there. You have friends from college. You have friends from work. There are people on your Facebook right now that are looking at houses to buy and thinking about selling their house, and they don't know that you sell real estate because you still have on it, the job that you had 2 years ago or the job you had before you finish it. And I hear people say, oh, well, I only want to use my Facebook for my personal stuff. But, you're losing business because of it. Number 22, as soon as you can in the business, you need to find a mentor or a coach. And when I say this, I'm not talking about, you don't have to go hire a coach and spend $1,000, but you need somebody that's successful, that you can watch what they're doing in the business, and you need to develop a relationship with them that you can ask questions. I mean, it could be another agent in your office that's doing more business than you. I'll tell you, when I first got into business, I got one of the magazines. It was a realtor magazine with top 30, under 30 in it. And this was before Facebook and stuff. This was like 2003, 2004. And I got online. I stalked out every person that was in that 30, under 30. I called them. I emailed them. I asked them questions. There's a couple of them I'm still friends with. Back during the height of the market, back in 06, 07, I worked for Keller Williams. There was a guy named Chad Goldwasser. He was the number one real estate agent in the world at the time with Keller Williams. I stalked this guy out until he became friends with me. And I talked to him kind of regularly. But you need to find that mentor or coach that's doing more business with you, that you can develop a positive relationship with, and that you can ask questions to. You can watch the way they're doing their business, the way they're handling things, and you can ask questions. Number 23, this business is tough, and some days really suck. You need to find motivational speakers and speakers that you like to listen to. I've got a lot of questions lately about mindset, and I have bad days just like everybody else. I have days where it's like nobody likes me on the phone. Nobody wants to be my friend. Nobody wants to let me come see their house or wants to list their house with me. And I really just want to go home and go back to bed. The way that I maintain just a tough mindset and positive mindset is every day I listen to motivational speakers. I've got a lot of them I like. I like Zig Ziglar. I like Grant Cardone. I like Tony Robbins. I like Jim Rohn. I've got a big list. I like. Number 24. You need to read books. And you don't have to read just real estate books. I read a ton of books. I like things that are more business related, but I feel like there's so many of them that I take so much stuff from that help me either establish better business practices, establish a better mindset. One of the books that changed the way that I've done business was Liz Holtz. I was reading the book and I realized it was the one where he was at Notre Dame. He just had a winning season. He was the serious underdog. He basically, the thing that he was doing that I was just so impressed with was how prepared he was for every single game, how prepared he was for the press conference. As I've seen the way that he was coaching the team, and that's when I read that book, when I decided, you know what, I need to show up to every listing agreement like this, super prepared. Number 25. You need to evaluate your friends and family. And the ones that are negative, they're negative towards the business you're in. They're telling you how hard the real estate business is, how you're not going to make it, how it's going to take you 6 months. If you're brand new, how it's going to take you 6 months to get a paycheck or longer. They're telling you how bad somebody else had in the business. That does not mean the business is going to be bad to you. The business is great. It's like having the golden ticket. You can make as much money as you want to make. But those people that are negative, you need to cut those people out. And you need to stay away from them. Now, I'm not talking about, hey, stay away from your mom or don't talk to your mom and stuff, but you need to limit your time with them and just stay away from them. Number 26, you need to stay away from the negative real estate agents. And we've all been in an office where there was that agent that literally just talked about doom and gloom constantly. These people will affect your productivity. You know, that person is talking about how bad the market is. I mean, I'll tell you this. I don't feel like I've ever seen a bad market. When the market was really bad here, man, I felt like it was easy. We had less competition. There was less of everything. And the agents that were left in the market were super professional. Every transaction I felt like went so smooth because everybody had a ton of experience. The agents that are negative, they're probably not going to be in the business long. The best thing to do is just stay away from them. Number 27, buy spiral notebooks. Now, I see everybody has, we like to use legal pads for some reason or another. And I actually learned this from one of Donald Trump books. I realized that I read that Donald Trump was using spiral notebooks to keep up with all of his stuff. When you use the legal pads, you know, you're folding papers over, pages get lost. Only God knows what happens to them. Spiral notebooks, I write down all of the serious leads and all of my notes in a spiral notebook. If I don't have it in my CRM, I've got probably 5 notebooks sitting on my desk right now. They're all leads and people I can follow up with where I've got, every time I've talked to them, I've got the notes actually written down in there. And unless I tear out a page, the pages don't come out. Use spiral notebooks. Number 28, you need to buy everything you're doing in bulk. Everything you're using, buy it in bulk. When you buy spiral notebooks, don't go to the place. Don't go to the Office Max and get one. Go ahead and get you 4 or 5. You know, get you a pack of pens. Don't get you one. Get you, you know, a big box of everything. You know, we waste so much time going back and forth over just little dumb stuff like that. Number 29, set up your Facebook business page and put your name in it. I have a extremely large Facebook page. It has over 65,000 people on it. If you don't believe me and you want to go check it out, it's facebook.com/Myrtle Beach Real Estate Guide. I have my name in it. The title of it is Jason Morris Myrtle Beach Real Estate Guide. You need to set up your business page with your name on it. You don't have to have a lot of likes or anything on it. But the reason you want it is because everybody uses Facebook. And just like Zillow and Trulia, people are searching you on Facebook too and looking at your stuff. You want to look like you're a real agent. You want people to be able to verify that you're a real estate agent. And 2, your Facebook page is going to show up. If you put your name in the title and you put the city that you're in, it's going to show up in the Google search results too. So when people Google your name, there are people probably Googling my name right now that I left messages for this morning. They're wanting to make sure that you're a legitimate agent. There's so many scams. They don't want to let somebody in their house that, maybe they're casing the place and looking to rob it. Make sure that you set up your Facebook business page. Number 30, if you've never done it before, you need to do a full market evaluation. What you need to find out is what's actually selling in your market. I see this all the time. I see it in my market. I'll hear agents talk about how they just want to work luxury real estate and they want to do $1 million homes and all this stuff. Guess what? I want to do $1 million homes too. But when you really look at the market and you do the research in MLS and see how many sell in my market, we're not a $1 million market. You're going to starve to death if all you want to sell is $1 million homes in my market. Most of the business I do is between $80,000 and $150,000. And the reason I do business in that area is because the days on the market are very low. That area of the business actually sells. Once you get over $200,000 in our market, there isn't near as much going on. There's stuff selling, but you look at the number of listings that have been on the market versus the number that actually sold at 200,000 plus. But then you look under 150,000, and if it's in decent shape, it's livable, everything under 150,000 sells. If you're putting it on the market, you're basically guaranteed a paycheck. Number 31, take as many listings as you can. I've made this mistake myself. I've looked and I've had 20, 30 listings in MLS, and I've said, you know what? I got a lot of listings. I don't want to make calls today. I don't want to do this or I want to do that. I don't want to service them or whatever it is. You need to be working every day on taking listings. And the reason why is this is how you're going to leverage your time. You can only show so many buyers property today. You can have 50 listings. All of them can be shown today, but you can't show 50 buyers' houses today. Listings are going to leverage your time, and they're going to make your life so much easier. Number 32, be selective with the buyers that you work with. For those of you that are doing mostly buyer transactions and your business is buyer heavy, your life probably sucks. You're working 7 days a week. You're at their beck and call. You're answering the phone at 10 o'clock at night because whatever the reason is. You need to be selective over the buyers you work with. You need to set yourself up rules and parameters and say, I'm only going to work with a buyer if. Me personally, I only work with buyers if they're a friend or a family member or a referral from a friend or a family member. Everybody else gets sent to a buyer's agent or referred to somebody else, which leads me to 33. You need to hire a buyer's agent. And now, a lot of you are probably thinking, and this goes against a lot of what coaches say, but you need to hire your buyer's agent as soon as possible. And you don't have to find you somebody that, that works 100% for you, but you need to find somebody that is going to work buyers and follow up with them the way you want. And you need somebody that you can refer those buyers to that don't meet the qualifications that you want to work with. So, like for me, the person that calls me off a sign, those go to somebody else. I'm not driving that person around. It's not that they're a bad lead or anything, just I've set up parameters for myself and I only work with buyers if they meet those parameters. Hire your buyer's agent or find an agent that you can work with on a referral basis that a stronger buyer's agent than you, or somebody that just has more time. Find a new agent that you can train and work buyers the way that you want them to be worked. Number 34, you need to do a DISC test, and that's D-I-S-C test. And you need to figure out what your strengths are. Some of you is really going to surprise you. You can go to the Tony Robbins website. He's got one for free that it takes maybe about 10 minutes to do it. And you're going to be really surprised at what you learn about yourself. I am a medium D. I'm a high I, which pretty much I'm goal oriented. I'm a driver. I'm really good with people, but I'm a really low S and C, which means I'm horrible with paperwork. I'm the worst paperwork agent that you will ever find. So what I did when I was looking for an assistant, I hired an assistant that was a strong S and C because they were organized and they would get my paperwork done. They could follow a system. But you need to do a DISC test on yourself and see what you are. And that way you can work your strengths and work your business, make your business work to your strengths. If you're a high S and C and you're in the real estate business, look for places that you can get more business from where you need to follow more of a system, follow more of a, maybe REO business would be really good for you. You need to look for business that being really, really organized is a plus. But do a DISC test on yourself. Find out what your strengths are. Number 35, any person that you hire, give them a DISC test. When you're looking for that buyer's agent, that person to consistently refer business to, you're giving them their business. You want to know as much about this person as you can and as much about their work ethics as you can. You need to do a DISC test on them. With buyers, I want somebody that's highly organized. I want somebody that's going to follow my system. So I don't necessarily want a high D or a high I because they're going to probably go off and try to do things on their own and try to do it their way. I don't want them to do it their way. I want them to do it my way because it's my business, my money, and I'm giving it to them. Number 36, You need to plan your drive time so that it's productive. You need to make calls, listen to training stuff, listen to motivational speakers. For me personally, I probably drive an hour, hour and a half a day, going to different appointments, just doing whatever it is. This time that you're in the car, man, I used to just call random people I knew, friends, talk about nothing. I try to plan my drive time as productive as possible. You're going to be in the car by yourself with really relatively little distraction other than driving. Plan something to do during that time that's productive. There's really nothing productive on talk radio. Find a YouTube video, plug your phone in to your auxiliary cord, listen to training material, motivation material, make calls and follow up. Number 37. This ties into 36. You need to listen to self-improvement programs and work on self-improvement programs. It doesn't matter how strong your mindset is. Everybody has bad days, and everybody can learn to improve. Everybody can learn to improve their life. You need to look for audio programs and self-improvement programs that you can listen to and you can work on stuff. Number 38. I try to make a habit out of this, but I don't. Sometimes I seem to always be running out. You need to buy way more signs and lock boxes than what you need. If you think you need to buy 5, you probably need to buy 10. And 2, if you've got 10 signs that are sitting in your storage closet or at home or leaning up in your office, it's going to motivate you and make you feel like, hey, you need to get those out. You need to get those out there. So always buy more signs and lock boxes than you need. I actually buy inserts. I buy 50 inserts at a time. I get them cheaper that way, and I can get them for like $2 or $3 a piece. And I just keep reusing them in frames. So I always have 25, 30 inserts. I don't always have the frames I need, but you need way more signs and way more lock boxes than what you think you do. And the more you have, the more motivated you're going to be to get them out. Number 39. Use a different number on your sign, the number that you control. Talk about getting your own signs with your number on it, but you need a different number than your cell phone is. Depending on the company you're with, you can probably get an extra cell phone line for 10, 15, 20 bucks at most. And the reason you need a different number is because when you've got one sign out, it's easy to answer calls. When you get 30 signs out as your business grows, your sign calls are going to do. You need the ability that the days that you're busy, that you can forward that sign to your assistant, you can forward it to your buyer's agent. If you're out of town on a cruise, you're unavailable, that number's getting answered because the guy driving around looking at houses and calling off signs, those are the best leads you can get. They're free. They're the lowest cost leads and the best leads you can get for sign calls. You need to make sure every one of those is answered. If you can't answer it yourself, forward it to somebody who can, or get an answering service. Get an answering service for just a couple dollars a call to answer those calls for you. I see this in my market all the time. You need to get a local phone number. If you're in South Carolina and you have a New York phone number, a California or Florida phone number, people think that you are not a real business, and they will not do business with you. You can say that I'm wrong about this. I've got listings over agents because the agent had an out-of-town area code, and they said, oh, they must be new to the area or new to the business. And I mean, I would know that agent had been in business for 2 or 5, 10 years or however long, but for whatever reason, they didn't want to change their North Carolina number to a South Carolina number. You need to get a local number. If you don't want to go have your number changed, go get a Google Voice number to put on all of your business cards. Have 4 of your numbers. I use Google Voice myself. Number 41. Get a picture of yourself that you can actually use on stuff. I don't have a picture on my business card or anything, but you want a picture that you can put on your website, that you can put on your LinkedIn profile, all this stuff. You want one that's easily accessible and that's yours, that's kind of up to date. if you're 55 years old and you're using your senior high school picture, that's not really acceptable. But you want something that's on your desktop for when you need it. It's easy to access. If you want to put it on your business cards, there's a lot of different places that you can use this. Number 42, you need a bio that includes information about yourself, that's accurate information, and you need one that includes a little bit of information, about your office. Most of the general public sees us as we work for an office. Most of the general public don't realize that we're all independent contractors, and what John Smith does at your office really has no bearing on what you do at your office. You don't get part of the commission from his stuff usually, but you need to include your office in your bio too, because the general public is looking at you as part of a group. If one person at the office think that everybody sucks. If one person does a great job, they think everybody does a great job. It includes stuff about your office too. It's going to improve your bio, but you need to have that bio ready just in case. You're going to need that. You're going to need it for your Facebook. You're going to need it for your Trulia account. You're going to need it for your Zillow account. There's a lot of stuff that you need on your bio that you're going to need your bio for in the future. Number 43. I see this all the time. When you're working, you need to treat your job like a regular job. You need to treat real estate sales like a regular job. Eat lunch at your office or find somewhere close so that you can pick something up kind of quick. I see agents every day. Man, lunchtime is the best time to follow up with people. A lot of people go home for lunch. A lot of people check their voicemails at lunch and stuff like that. Lunchtime is the best time to follow up with people. It's a break during their day. So the thing about that is lunchtime's a good time for you to follow up. You can make money during lunch. So you need to find somewhere to pick something up, bring your lunch to your office. I see agents all the time. Man, they go out for lunch every day and they waste 2 hours of their day talking to people at their office that honestly, we're in the business to make money, and you're not going to make a lot of money hanging out with somebody from your office for 2 hours during the middle of the day. Number 44. This is another lunch one. I'd never go to lunch and actually go somewhere and sit down in a restaurant unless I'm meeting somebody I'm going to do business with. Any person that I'm meeting that's maybe I'm not meeting them at their house or at the property, I try to meet them and use that time. I try to use that lunch hour as productively as possible. So if I'm not in my office making some follow-up calls during lunchtime, I am actually meeting somebody for lunch in a productive manner. Number 45, you need to make sure that you get a good night's sleep. This alone is going to make you way more productive. We all do this. You stay up late watching a movie. It's 1, 2 o'clock in the morning before you go to bed. And the next morning when you're making your calls, you sound boring. You sound tired. You sound like you're struggling. Losing a little bit of sleep affects your productivity. You need to make sure you get a good night's sleep. Number 46. We talked about schedule earlier, but you need to also make yourself a daily and weekly to-do list. If you have a to-do list that's right there in front of you with stuff to check off on, you're going to be so much more productive. If I have a to-do list with 8, 10 items on it, man, I can get those things knocked out one after another. If I'm sitting there without a to-do list, I will fumble around, I'll play around on Facebook, look at stuff, and think I have nothing to do when actually I have a stack of stuff to do. You need to make sure that you have a daily and weekly to-do list, especially of the repetitive items that you're doing. Number 47, you need to monitor your time on non-productive calls. We've all got those friends. We got friends that are real estate agents in the business. We got friends that are just friends that are in other businesses. They know that we're available during the day. So they'll call us and they'll talk about nothing. I've got clients that will call me and talk about nothing. And you need to monitor your time on those non-productive calls. I had a client today call me. We're selling his house. They're not asking for a home warranty. He called me because he's thinking about buying a home warranty for his personal house. Now, I don't want to be a jerk or anything and tell the guy, hey, I don't have time for it. but I monitor my time on those calls so that after 10 minutes, I can cut him off. If you don't do that, next thing you know, you spend 30 minutes talking about, where's the best place to get an oil change, with a client. You need to monitor your time on those non-productive calls. Number 48, you have to use a showing service. Now, in our market, we use showing time, and showing time is part of our MLS. I've used centralized showings before. There's a lot of other services out there, but an agent calling you to set up a showing for a vacant house. A lot of that time spent setting up showings or taking those calls, pretty non-productive. And if you've got one listing, it's not going to matter. If you got 20 listings or you got 40 listings, taking showing calls, I'm been struggling with that here lately. I doubled my goals, and with that, I took a lot of listings last month. And there were some days I was just bombarded with agents calling me about showing stuff, calling me with kind of dumb questions. You need to try to eliminate those questions and basically outsource those to a showing service or outsource those to a fact sheet or something you put in MLS. But using a showing service will save you so much time, and all the agent has to do is either call a number or log into a website to get the showing instructions. It doesn't break your concentration when you're prospecting, and it doesn't take you away from doing profitable activities. Number 49, you need to make sure that you have a strategic plan. You need to make a plan and know what you're working on. You need to know what you're working on every day and every week. A lot of us, you've got yourself a schedule. You're showing up to the office every day, and you show up to the office and you just sit there hoping something's going to happen because you don't have a plan. And that plan, there's a lot of stuff out there. It can be either working on social media, working on websites, prospecting certain communities. There's a lot of different plans that you can have, but you have to have a plan on how you're going to get business and how you're going to do business. And you need a plan that's scalable so that plan, once you've proved that it's working at a certain level, you can expand it further. Number 50, make a habit to touch things only once. We all have the habit of trying to multitask. You're on a call with people, you're sending emails, you're doing all this stuff, you've got your to-do list there. Look at your to-do list, look at your activities, knock the things off the list that you have all the resources you need right now. Touching things only once and not multitasking, you're going to be far, far more productive. You're going to be less frustrated and everything. So, and then I have number 51, and I can't believe I waited to number 51 to talk about this one. But number 51 is you need to use scripts, and you need to use the same ones over and over again. I get calls from agents and messages from agents all the time, especially through my Facebook group, Real Estate Agents That Really Work. And they go, "Oh, Jason, we want your script." They think I'm saying something magic, and there is no magic script. I've seen one real estate coach is charging, I think it was $900 for a script book. There is not a script that is going to give you a magic line to say. There's not a magic question. There's none of that stuff. The script that you use, you want to use a script that is, you do want to use one that you've gotten from somewhere that's been battle tested and it's been proven that, hey, this series of questions are important. But you want to use the same script. And the reason you want to do that is because once you've got those 5 or 10 questions internalized and you've been making calls for 30, 60, 90 days using that same script, you know all the answers to the questions, all the objections. You're getting good after about 90 days. You're getting really good at overcoming those objections or anticipating those objections. And then, once you change scripts, you have to learn new responses to questions. You have to learn new objections. You have to learn new everything. And the thing is, sellers are not really giving us new objections. We're giving them new questions they can object to. So you need to use the same scripts over and over again. So I gave you 50 things you need to do. A lot of those don't probably don't seem important to a lot of agents that have been in the business for a while, and we take a lot of these things for granted. If you go through this list, pick out the ones you haven't done, pick out the ones you need to start doing. It's going to make you more productive. It's going to make you look like a real estate agent. It's going to help you get your day set up and your business set up a lot better. And if you need any further explanation on any of these, go in our group, ask questions, real estate agents that really work, and ask questions about any of this stuff I've talked to you. If you feel like you've gotten a lot from this call today, I know that was a lot of stuff that we went over in about 45 minutes. If you feel like you've gotten a lot from it, go to the group, comment on it, tell us what you learned or what things you need to start doing. But I guarantee you, if you go through this list, you're going to find things that you're not doing today that you need to be doing, and things that are really going to improve your business if you start doing them. Well, I hope everybody has a great weekend and a productive day. Thank you guys for being on the call. My Facebook page is, our Facebook group is Real Estate Agents That Really Work. For the ones of you that are not in the group, if you don't have a pre-listing package, you can download mine for free at jasonmorrisprelistingpackage.com. Thanks so much. Have a great day.